All right, everyone, we start off today talking about the ballroom renovations. Yes, Trump's ballroom blitz continues. The facade of the East Wing has been pretty much completely demolished at this point. There's even a live feed on CNN. You can literally look at them demolishing that side of the East Wing. It's history time, liberals, because I noticed that Gavin Newsom is making believe that Trump is doing something horrible. He's literally destroying the White House. That was his words, not mine, and that this is abnormal. It's just a sign of his imperialism. Oh my God, he's also putting up a triumphal arch. That's sort of like the one in Berlin, right? That the Nazis erected or something like that. They can't even get their fucking history straight at this point. The White House has been renovated, I think 8 or 9 times actually over the years. Multiple administrations. Obama had a chunk of the White House taken out in order to build a basketball court. JFK had a pool put in. Apparently, yeah, he was doing some other things in there. He wanted his privacy, and things like that. It's happened many times. Truman practically redesigned the White House. Taft installed what became the Oval Office. It was, I believe, remodeled as well under Lincoln, which was necessary because the original sort of structure was just not working. It was decrepit, actually. It would be a little bit like living in a slum house, actually. So they've cleaned it out. They've redesigned DC. They've redesigned the White House, etc. I would point out additionally, this is the East Wing, which was originally built under FDR. This is not the White House. So Gavin Newsom is flat out lying. He knows better. He's intelligent enough to know basic fucking US history. He's not stupid enough to believe that Trump is actually demolishing the White House. Although if you replaced it with a clone of the Mar-a-Lago, it would be more lavish. Maybe he should option that, say, hey, it's not the White House anymore. It's Mar-a-Lago 2.0. Really get their noggins jogging. But that's not happening. You have to take, if you've studied any architecture, anything along those lines, to any degree, you would understand when you're remodeling a building and expanding it, you're probably going to have to chop a part of that building out. It's just what you need to do. It doesn't make sense to put a ballroom immediately adjacent to a bunch of out-facing windows or something. I mean, it would look like shit. It wouldn't make any fundamental sense whatsoever. You're going to have to take out both of those floors because the ballroom ceiling is going to be high. This is normal renovation work. Then you have the coup de grace, which is that it's privately funded. Supposedly, Donald Trump is bilking the taxpayers to build a vanity ballroom. Oh, wait, he's actually paying for it mainly himself. Why do I have a problem with this? What the fuck purpose is getting angry over it? It means absolutely nothing. It is about time. Multiple presidents have already said, yeah, we would like to put a ballroom into the White House. That'd be a cool idea, right? For parties, celebrations. You know, the left-wing media, the same left-wing media that's complaining about the ballroom. And part of it is the conceptual design looks topically similar, supposedly, to the ballroom in St. Petersburg, Russia. Aha! We know where Trump got the idea now, don't we? Except it looks like pretty much every other periodic ballroom from that particular era, from that imperial era. France, Britain. There's probably 17 or 18 of them in Britain. They really love having palaces and shit. Or anywhere in Europe. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Privately funded, normal renovation work, actually less disruptive than some of the work that's been done, even under, like, again, the Obama administration, certainly under FDR. And it doesn't even have anything to do with the actual White House itself. Where's the fucking problem? They're being disingenuous. With Gavin Newsom, for example, the only thing he wants to do is bitch and complain. He wants to get attention because he's going to run for the presidency. So he wants to set himself apart as the most virulently anti-Trump. This is just political strategy on his part. I don't even begrudge him that because, I mean, you are being a good politician, you're just being a shithead. They are the same thing, by the way. So let's just let that rest for a minute. You will know this to be true. Good. Uh, but there's nothing abnormal about this. It's happened over and over again. The White House has been redesigned, and this is not even the White House. It is an annex. The East Wing was made in the 1940s. This is not part of some ancient American history. Saw another article just this morning where some idiot was claiming, well, all of the founders would be disgusted by what's happening to the White House. Now, I think that the founders probably would have put in a ballroom. George Washington very famously fucking loved going to balls, for example. Oh, you know the best president supposedly that we've ever had, and definitely the first. You know, someone who is almost universally acclimated, except by far leftoids. I think that might be part of the problem. Yeah, he loved to go to balls. Apparently, he was a bit of a ladies' man. All the founders like that. They didn't have TV back then. What the fuck are you supposed to do? You get pretty women there, and some booze, of course, and certain other substances that are now illegal. And you dance, and you chat and fraternize, and also people like to read with one another back then. Travelers' literature was a big thing back in the day. If you were literate, they had these little works, and you would read them to one another, and like in a stagecoach or something, and you would discuss it. And this was a form of entertainment. You know, there's no radio in that stagecoach back in, 1802, so you need something else to do. What does this involve? I've got a bottle of booze and you've got a book. Sounds like a great time now, doesn't it? We've also got a couple of pistols in case, the Comanches come, but other than that, no problems. The founders would not have had a problem with this. I saw no such ire when Obama remodeled the actual White House in order to put in a fucking basketball court. By the way, the most stereotypically fucking hilarious redesign of the White House completely. I suppose that FDR putting in facilities because he was a cripple, I guess that kind of fits. And Taft deciding that the Oval Office should be oval shaped, while a great decision, you could attribute it to his girth, perhaps. Round or roundish. That would be funny. But it's been redesigned over and over again. Truman practically redesigned the whole thing. So what's the problem? It's privately funded. This is, by the way, a first. All the other presidents, most of which, by the way, I notice are Democrats, redesigned the White House and or built upon it with taxpayer money. They did not do it on their own initiative. Trump very wisely chose not to rub the public coffers in order to pay for his ballroom. It has been discussed by multiple administrations for a very, very long time. Other administrations, again, notably, I believe that Taft had brought it up back in the day, but multiple administrations had said, hey, why don't we have a ballroom? You know, most capitals in the world, they have a ballroom for special events. And these same leftoids are the ones that complained about Melania's Christmas decor. I hope that the Trumps troll the shit out of these people. Set up your ballroom. Make it as ornate as possible. Put your Christmas decorations in there and have a wild Christmas celebration. You know, those Democrats, they love their Coke and booze too, so, you'll be in good company. And then set it up in there. Legacy media will pan it. It doesn't matter what she does. It doesn't matter what Trump does. It doesn't matter what anyone adjacent to them does. This level of ire has never before been exhibited by the legacy media or by the wonk class over any of these others. There was criticism, of course, with like Obama's expansion, and it was largely partisan. Some Republicans are like, well, you're wasting taxpayer money so you can play basketball. True. Fundamentally, fact check true. But it's not really a major issue. It becomes less of an issue when it is quite literally not even physically totally part of the White House and when it's privately funded. So I'm having a really good time. Gavin Newsom doing his attention whoring thing and all of the liberal commentators rambling about Epstein usually and stuff like that. Oh, ho, ha, ha, ha. Girls under 13 get in for free and, shoops and stuff like that. They still don't know how to meme. I believe that they are unteachable, actually. That's about all. Peace out.